course, another visit to the shopping mall is required. And so why that? Because for a moment you feel there's a sense of lack in most humans that comes from disconnectedness from they cannot sense the being within them. They cannot sense that the aliveness, the being that they are. They cannot sense the I am, the primordial sense of beingness. They're disconnected from that. They're up in the head, and the head says, I need, and now I need, what else do I need? I need this, and I need that, and I need that. Where can I go? Look, maybe that will do it, or that. Oh, I need another meal. I need another chocolate cake. Whatever, on whatever level the neediness manifests, it will be there. I need another relationship. I knew somebody who had enough money and he bought one car, a very expensive car, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's fine if you enjoy a car. But very quickly he found it didn't fulfill him the way he thought it would. And so I think that was Aston Martin or Bentley or something. And then he bought a Ferrari. And then for a while that was, yeah, that's it. And then that wore off also, the sense. And then he bought another one. They had 3 cars standing there. And he said, oh, that's a piece of garbage. It's a piece of garbage. So it wasn't fulfilling anymore. And so that really is whatever, all these are substitutes. And of course, unfortunately, if the whole economic structure that it's a little bit shaky now, which is probably a good thing, but the whole economic structure can survive only if enough people still live in that neediness to consume. If not enough people consume, they say this is very bad, the economy is going downhill fast. People are not consuming anymore. Of course you will. So what I'm talking about is the neediness, and to have substitute fulfillment then goes. So we create a very different society, very different world is then created. Of course the transition will be a little bit painful for some people, but the more you are surrendered to life, to the present moment, the easier it will be. So nature then can be for many people the entry into the state of being, connectedness with being, because nature is really being. Through every form of life, being speaks, not through words. Being communicates itself to you through every natural form. And within yourself also. Through existence is the forms of life. Existence, billions of life forms. Underlying the billions of life forms is the one life. So, you are that. I am an expression of the one life, a temporary expression of the one timeless life. Can you sense, that question is, can you sense the one timeless life within yourself as consciousness? Can you, at this moment, can you feel your own presence, your own awareness? These words are not quite right. It's not yours. Nothing is yours. But let's just for a moment put it like that, just to get you there. Can you feel your own presence? Which I don't mean your thinking. I don't mean your feelings. They may be there, but underneath it, isn't there a presence that perceives this moment as in whatever form it arises at this moment? Isn't there an underlying light? Isn't there an underlying space in which all this arises? Even if it's all a dream, it might all be a dream, but even then, if it is a dream, there's no point in arguing whether it's a dream or not, isn't there an underlying space in which the dream arises? Somebody is having this dream. Who is that somebody? You. But not you as the person. The person is part of the dream, if it is a dream. Well, it's dream-like, that's for sure, because everything passes very quickly. It certainly is dream-like. Our existence is dream-like. No doubt about that. But who is having this dream-like thing? To whom is it happening? To me. Who are you? You can't attach a name to it. You are consciousness, the essence. So when I say, can you feel your own presence? Another way of putting it is, can you be aware that you are aware at this moment? Can you know, aware of your own awareness, aware of awareness, self-awareness, self-realization? You don't need to think. There's nothing to understand in it. Nothing to understand. Just that. Yeah, that's the transcendent dimension in you. It transcends everything. Transcend means is beyond. As it says in the Buddhist scripture, something like, what is it? Gate, gate, paragate, beyond, beyond, gone to the farthest shore, gone beyond. And this is not some extraordinary state reserved for one person in a billion. It's a natural state. Because we had lost it for so long, it just seems so extraordinary. It's the most wonderful thing if you can go into any situation as that clear space, not as a person. The person is there for a while. You can still bring the person out of the cupboard when you want it. If people ask me, what do you do, or whatever, usually I say something, yeah, I'm a writer. Okay, that doesn't create any problems. I'm not saying I am formless consciousness and I was never born, and that would lead to problems. So you can pretend that you are a person and then give a clear answer. And that's fine, and still know that that's not the truth at all. Not that you're lying, but it's a tiny, tiny temporary aspect, and still be there as a spacious presence in any situation. It doesn't matter where anymore. Just spacious presence. And a lot of the time, don't need to think. Just be there as a presence, then you are truly, that's true intelligence coming into this world. Real intelligence is not what the IQ test measures in you. I'm incapable of doing IQ tests. I mean, I've never done one, but I just glanced at one, and I know my IQ would be very low. My mind doesn't work in that way. It doesn't work analytically. And so that is only a tiny aspect. This is not a true intelligence. I'm not saying that because my IQ test would be low. It's not. Nor should it be an insult to anybody who has a high IQ, and I'm now removing their sense of identity by saying it doesn't matter that much whether your IQ is high or low. it's not that, but there's a the true intelligence is the unconditioned consciousness. The thinking mind is the conditioned consciousness, conditioned by the past, conditioned by innumerable factors, conditioned by the language that you inherit. There's past in every word that you inherit. The moment you start speaking a language, you inherit an entire world view that's associated with that language, an entire energy that comes with the language that you're born into. And then that becomes part of who you think you are, your identity. It's not, it's a temporary acquisition. It's a form of conditioning. And then people are, I'm English, German, Italian, Greek, whatever. It's nothing to do with who they are. It's a form of conditioning. So, and then there is the unconditioned, underneath it, spacious awareness. Unconditioned. And everybody, it's in everybody. Just stop thinking for a moment and there it is. And the mind says, oh, that can't be that insignificant because there was nothing happening just now. And then you don't need to desensitize yourself anymore, and all the other substitutes that you may have for a sense of aliveness, whatever drugs people use to feel more alive for a little while. Relationships, they need to change relationships quickly because quickly the novelty wears out, and then, okay, maybe somebody else will finally make me happy, do it for me. Maybe he's right here, or she. And there's nothing wrong with any of these things, buying something or even enjoying a drink or whatever, but the compulsive nature then is no longer there. You don't need substitute aliveness. Another one, of course, is drama. In relation, you need the drama to have to feel we are still alive. We haven't been fighting in 1 month, so something must be wrong. Even with your dog or cat, if you have a dog or cat, approach them as much as possible, not through language. Of course, sometimes you speak, but approach them just bringing also awareness. Just look, watch your dog or cat, how he runs around or rests or eats or sleeps, and just bring aware presence. Look into their eyes. Connect with because there's so much being coming through them, through their eyes, that sense. And that's why people are drawn to dogs or cats, so they love them. And even people with big egos, they sometimes, when they see a dog, they go, oh. For a moment the ego subsides. For a moment they look into the eyes of the dog and they feel a little bit more themselves even, more, oh. And again, that's it's the being that speaks through this little animal, more connected than the master, than the owner, the being of the dog. And this is what people relate to in the animal. This is why they spend so much money on their animals, because it gives them a glimpse of being, of that connectedness. But it's a secondary thing. But if you can be, the dog can help you if you bring the openness, realize it's in you. You feel that in yourself when you relate to the dog or the cat. It's not in the dog, or it's also in the dog or cat, but it is primarily felt here. Thank you. Thank you. The door opened, it means it's time to finish. And there comes the dog. Hi! 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 Hi!